another Traveler's Notebook process video for you today. I'm working in my notebook that is for all of the paintings. And I'm going to be using the Wild Whisper Collection Wild Whimsy. I chose this collection I chose the collection I wanted to create with first, but I decided to do a TN page and pick this photo because of the colors and how they complemented each other. I thought that they would work really, really well with this collection, and it does. Most of my reason for choosing that is actually this pebbly paper. Something about that paper just said use it with this photo. So I started with a scrap of that pebbly paper, but then I'm going to grab a larger sheet of it. And I'm also going to cut apart some cut-apart sheets and do some fussy cutting on this layout. So this layout marks the direct middle of this particular Traveler's Notebook. And so I've decided that I want to do a horizontal or a vertical layout, but that means that I have to cut my photo. And really, because of the way I took this photo and had it printed, there isn't a way for me to not have to crop the photo more than I want. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with this. I am at some point going to cut the photo in half, just to warn you, and then I'm going to get it as close to those middle staples as I can, because the nice thing about it, because this is the middle of the book, it's the direct middle, it will close very easily. You can put the pictures and stuff really towards that binding a little more than normal, and you'd be okay. So I'm going to mount my photo here. I've cropped it in as much as I possibly could. It was a 4x6. And there wasn't much I could crop. I had really kind of I had taken this photo quite close up, actually. So that's all right. We're going to work with it. Everything's getting some gray Hickory Smoke Distress ink. And see how the colors in that photo just, I don't know, something about that blue and the aqua and those pretty stones just set that photo off so lovely. I usually don't have any problems picking supplies to work with for my projects, but I often, I start with my supplies. So, you know, sometimes I have to go searching for a photo that'll work with the supplies that I want to use. But, you know, it's okay. So I'm going to put a little bit more of this fun pebbly paper along the top and bottom, and then I'm going to cut the photo. So get ready to cringe a little if you need to. It's okay, I understand completely, but it's totally fine. I guess now wouldn't be the time to tell you that these, I no longer have this phone, so I no longer have access to these pictures. So if I messed this up, it was kind of messed up for good. All right. But look, we made it. No problems. My head's going to be in the way here because I need this to be lined up. I want it to be just where I want it to be, right? So I put some dot adhesive down, and I used dot adhesive kind of intentionally because I knew I was going to shimmy this picture as close as I possibly could to the middle. And I actually was able to get it fairly close to the middle. I was, in fact, somewhat surprised at how close I could get it. I moved it up just a little bit, and I'm going to shimmy these closer and closer and closer until I get them right where I want. And I'm like, can I scooch it just a bit more, just a bit closer? And I could. I was so happy. Yay. And so that's how we're going to leave it. And it did end up pretty close actually. I was fairly impressed. And I had intentionally kind of not cut like a person in half or anything, so it was okay. I'm going to do a ton of fussy cutting now. I'm going to fussy cut these pretty gems, and I'm going to fussy cut those pretty kind of flowery elements that were in the kit or in this collection. Initially, I was going to use those sequins which coordinate, but in the end I kind of decide, nah, don't need them. It's alright. So that is going to be what I do now. So now I'm just going to go through, give everything some more distress ink, and kind of tuck everything in. I decided not to cover the paper in the Traveler's Notebook. I left the grid there. It was a nice subtle pattern, it worked well with the colors I was using, and so I decided instead of trying to add more bulk to the page, I would just leave the grid there. I really love the grid design in this particular notebook because sometimes it will allow me to just write directly onto my Traveler's Notebook spreads. And as you've seen with a lot of the pages in this particular notebook, I generally tend to journal more in this notebook than I do in many of my other projects, period. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put this down. So this is my painting notebook. It has all of my lovely paintings that I've seen. And so I'll go ahead while I continue working on these clusters. I'll read you what the journaling says. I've had some comments that you guys like to hear the journaling in my painting notebook. So this is what the journaling says. During the summer of 1869, Monet and Renoir set up their easels at Le Grenouillere, which I cannot pronounce, but it's a long French word, a boating and bathing resort in the Seine River near Paris. This depiction closely resembles one by Renoir in the National Museum in Stockholm, in Sweden. So there you go. That's the photo. That's the information about that particular painting. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trim off the excess here, and then I'm going to grab my most favorite Muji pen and do my journaling. And I think the embellishment is pretty much done at this point. I really think the only thing I might add to this layout, besides the title and the information about the painting, the painter's name and the year it was made, I've been doing lots of Monets in my book. In this part of this book, so I'm thinking that my next page needs to be not a Monet. All right, so journaling. Let's get going. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, by the magic of YouTube, the journaling is done. I'm just gonna kind of tuck these gems down in, and then I'm going to go ahead and use these older letter stickers from October Afternoon. So these Daily Flash letter stickers are my favorite letter stickers in the history of ever. When it became obvious that October Afternoon was going to be no more and that these would be hard to get, I went to a Cherry on Top and I bought them out of stock of them. I think I bought like 10 packs. I think I've also told this story before, so you're probably sick of hearing it. All right. That will complete this layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to head over to the Wild Whisper blog, and you can see the collection that I used for this, the Wild Whimsy collection. And yeah, that'll complete today's process video and layout. Have a fabulous day. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.